The Concerned Firm is a public affairs show on MNN produced by Robert C. Gumbs. His encouragement of message to all of us, including us youth, is to get to know what is happening around our society politically, socially, nationally, and internationally throughout. We are about to get into a youth concern forum right now. Joining us in Hot Topics is indeed the host and producer of the Concerned Forum.
Robert C. Gumbs.
Please welcome Robert C. Gumbs.
Yes. Yes, and you are indeed a hot host, okay? You're looking good right here, all right?
Well, I need all the help I can get, believe me.
Well, you got the help you need. So, to me, you and I have known each other for quite some time, right?
Yeah, sometime.
And it seems like you've been doing your show since Manhattan Neighborhood Network opened up, or what's the story?
Well, actually, I've been here for a few years, but I would say the earlier time when I was here, that was basically the opportunity for me to get instructed, basically, on the whole, inside the television thing. Mm-hmm. For the last, really, since the, you might as well say 2016, mm-hmm. That's when I really found the direction that I wanted the show to go in with this last presidential campaign, like I said, of 2016.
Right.
Yes.
And that's why I've shaped the show to be what it is,
right.
which is an information outlet. A lot of people don't feel comfortable or don't have the time to watch Meet the Press, for example. And a lot of folks have they have an issue talking about some of these issues in depth.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah. Well, basically like the Sunday shows.
Yeah, and see, I felt that with my background that, I came up in the projects right here in Manhattan, and I spent a good part of my adult life in the military. Mm-hmm. And while in the military, a good chunk of that, I was with the intelligence community. I did over 5 years with DIA, that's the Defense Intelligence Agency. And I felt that I could be the person to act kind of like as an information mediator, so to speak, to basically explain to the working class person why the things that they talk about on Meet the Press, why they are important to them. Because a lot of people, they have this idea, oh, well, I just don't get into politics, or all those guys are crooks, or it's just too complicated for me as an average person to understand.
Yeah.
And I'm telling them, no, that's not true. You have some very good, exceptionally brilliant people in politics, and you have some very bad people in politics.
And the good people you might be also talking about might be Ocasio-Cortez, because I know we've been talking briefly about her.
Oh yeah, she's definitely one of the better ones. And also the idea that people are intimidated by the information. And I tell them, no, you should not be intimidated by anything that can come up and have something to do with you, your family, all right, with other people in your same economic category.
Yes.
This is our country.
Yes.
And we need to stop acting. In general, I would say that Americans need to stop acting like stepchildren. I think that's the problem with, and not to get racial, but with a lot of working class whites, especially in the so-called heartland. And that is that they have felt for so long that they were left out of everything. And to me, some of that was their own self-fulfillment, because they didn't feel that they were good enough to argue and speak up for their own interest. And now they're being led by this Pied Piper with golden toilet seats who says, I'm your friend. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. You have never been a friend of working class people. You put on this panache of talking how you think working class people speak. And see, it takes more than you talking like a bigot and using terrible grammar. That's not what makes a person a fighter for the working class. And see, that's what a lot of people, I think, they need to understand that.
Right.
That this guy that we have sitting in the White House, he is not our friend.
Exactly.
And I don't care what color you are.
Right.
He's not a
Right.
friend of America.
But we also have to keep in mind that he got impeached, but he's still in office.
That's
and
correct.
it's like, and that brings to the question
exactly.
is like, what do you think the next steps could be, and what can we do to like get him out of office,
right.
if anything?
Well, what people need to do, they need to start applying pressure to the senator in the
Yeah.
state where they live at. And I don't care if your senator is Republican or Democrat or independent. It doesn't make a difference, because this is not politics as usual. You have a very dangerous man there in the White House, not just psychologically and emotionally, but this guy has shared some of our greatest secrets with the opposition, i.e., what's his name, President Putin of Russia. And this guy, he is trying to bring back the Soviet Empire.
Or what about what's the guy's name? From Ukraine, the president.
The president that they have there now he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Good chap, nice chap. But the problem is that Trump is trying to pressure this guy, because you remember, he already has Russian troops inside his country.
Yeah.
They're already fighting. Every day they're fighting. And it's like Trump saying, well, listen, if you don't say the things that I want you to say, I am not going to give you the military aid that we
Wow,
promised
that's
your
sad.
country. That's one of the main reasons why he's being impeached now.
Yeah.
Because, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, because as president, he doesn't have the right to do that.
Right.
Right.
So Congress, your congressman, is the one that controls the money. That's there in the Constitution. For the president to just leap in and say, well, I'm going to hold up on this aid that was already passed and voted for in the previous Congress, I'm going to sit on it now. That's illegal.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes,
Right.
and this is the reason why the youth, like whether if you're 18 years or older or 18 years young, they should be watching the news too, and even get into politics, because
Right.
the issues that are going on can affect us.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
this is why we have wanted to have you on the show, because you and I had talked about this, and like on and off here at Manhattan Neighborhood Network, or like down the halls and something, because the issues that is going on around America and around the world are important to
That's
our
right.
daily lives.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Here, and that's one of the reasons why here.
I feel like it's great that you have the show going on, because a lot of people could learn from it, and a lot of people, a lot of people don't understand politics. So by you having the show, you could really break it down to people and really explain to what's going on. And it's important for that, because people need to understand what's going on in the world, so
Exactly.
we could have a better understanding, so people could take action.
Right.
A lot of people probably don't really take it seriously because they don't understand, and when they don't understand, they brush it off to the side, which is, you need to understand, because this is impacting our lives. So,
Right.
Well,
Good job.
I would say
Yeah.
you hit a very good point, because I would say, and especially, now sisters are catching hell also, but especially young brothers, because we have this constant fear, unfortunately, about being mishandled, manhandled, or even killed by the police
Yeah.
in various parts of the country. And I would say that you have to pay attention to all this stuff going on, because right now we have a president, all of his close advisors have been, how should I say, in the company of what they call now Aryan nationalists or white nationalists. The guy that he basically, I would say Trump gets his instructions from, okay? Because Donald, when he tries to think for himself, the results are usually not that good, okay? Even when he was in real estate. And most native New Yorkers, they know about this guy. But, you know, he has this attitude that somehow Europeans, white Europeans, are superior, no matter what the subject. He is the kind of guy, he says things that incite people. They incite people to do violence. That shooting, what was it, 50-odd people were shot?
Yeah.
And a bunch killed in El Paso, Texas. This happened about 2 days after Trump made one of his crazy campaign speeches, basically accusing Latinos of being murderers, comparing them to insects, this type of thing. So naturally, somebody with a loose screw, well, hey, the president says that these people should be exterminated. I'm a loyal American. I'm going to listen to my president. And that's what this guy did. That could be the problem in some police departments across the country.
Right.
Where you have guys who are into this right-wing Aryan nonsense.
Yeah.
They're brainwashed.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And what happens the next time they feel like, well, here goes a young black guy in the car or a young Hispanic man in the car. It's a nice car, too. It's nicer than mine. Who is he
Yes.
to have this?
Yeah,
Right.
that's what they do.
You know,
Yes.
these
Sadly.
people cheat on welfare, they sneak in the country, so on and so forth. Next thing you know, you have an incident of a young person of color being killed by the police.
Yes. I want to ask you about, we have like less than a minute here, and because, you know, it's like, I also want to, because, you know, when you mention you're breaking this down, and it's like, it's really helpful. And I feel as if when I go around talking to youth about what's going on, it's like they don't have an interest in politics. I want to know from your perspective, why is it you think youth are like really not into like politics when this stuff really matters of what's happening here? I want to know
Right.
where you see it from this, because I look at it as if it's like it's not their interest, but it should be, because this is the stuff that is being talked about almost all the time.
I feel like they don't understand it.
Right.
They don't understand like really what's going on in the White House. They don't have a good understanding. So
and they don't watch the news. That's another
Yeah,
thing.
they
They'd
don't
rather
watch
just
the
focus
news.
on other things, like watching other type of television shows that's not news related or so.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think that a lot of that, there are a few reasons for that. And quickly, let me try to break this down. A lot of the young people, especially you find with young males, they wouldn't put it this way, but what it is inside, they're afraid. They feel betrayed because a lot of them feel, well, wait a minute, all the stuff that people did in the 50s and the 60s, why are we still dealing with these issues? Apparently, somebody sold us out. All right, that's one strain of thought. The other is, as I said earlier, people feel that these issues, somehow they're above them.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, hey, man, this is so far above me. Why should I even try to understand? And that's not good because, you know, you have to take a stand with your life. And see, this stuff interacts with your life. When you're talking about working class people not being able to afford to rent an apartment. In other words, you can't afford to live in a place. You don't have a place to lay your head. See what I'm saying? You see this business about our country doesn't even want to help our own citizens get a college education. So what's the sense of trying to get educated? What's the sense of trying to know anything? Because you get punished for it. This society punishes you for
Wow.
it. You know? How can I deal like a regular citizen because the police treat me like a criminal as soon as they see me?
Wow.
So
that's
what
sad.
chance do I have?
Right.
Yeah.
And we have to break through these mental attitudes.
Right.
Because the way I look at it, someday, someday I'm going to be an old geezer, right? You know,
I don't even want to think about it right now.
yeah,
okay?
if my son was looking at this, he'd be laughing when he hears me say someday. But someday, I'm going to need somebody to take care of me.
Right.
See what I'm saying? That's why I'm trying to do as much as I can
do it,
now.
right? Make a difference.
Exactly, to make a difference.
Right.
And show these kids that, yeah, life does matter.
Exactly.
See what I'm saying? So that as time goes on, we're supposed to, what is it? Each one teaches one.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be
Yeah.
for
Right.
all of Americans.
Yes.
You know?
I wish we had more time, but we have to thank you, Robert, for
Right.
joining
Thank you
us.
for coming and sharing that
Yes.
knowledge.
Well, thank you for having me on.
A special thanks to Robert C. Combs. The Concern Forum airs on Eminence Community Channel Saturdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Do me a favor, Robert.
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, 3 o'clock. Do me a favor, put these glasses on.
For 2020.
All right, yeah, because you may look good in those here. But anyway, Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on Eminence Community Channel is the Concern Forum. Check your local listings on your TV or at eminent.org. We'll be right back. And here's Bob in 2020 Vision.
Vision.
Look at him.
There you go, folks. There you go.